In ignorance, you used to call it mind, but that is itself the knowledge of manifestation. That is the power of manifestation, this knowledge. It is the source of manifestation, Mula Maya. It is Mahesvara. That is the highest Ishvara principle, whose name is Atman. Whose name? The feeling you have of I amness, I am, without words. That is Atman. It is very dynamic and moving. The consciousness is the mind of the Absolute, the power of knowledge, the power of memory, the message of I amness. The state of manifestation is that of a state of attachment. Its happening or creating is spontaneous, without attachment. But once it appeared, the attachment started. You are all keeping quiet and not daring to ask questions. Questions are prepared before. When you come here, they fade away. In the womb of ignorance, the knowledge was there, and that knowledge in maturity had become this manifestation. But prior to ignorance, that great ancestor is there. You know you have the knowledge of knowing only on the basis of no knowing. First of all, you do not know. On that knowing platform, this knowing sprouts. But the basis is ignorance only. Although ignorance, when it grows into maturity, becomes knowledge and becomes profuse in its manifestation, still, its ancestor is ignorance only. Prior to ignorance is that ancestral state of Absolute. What are the signs to recognize a gnani? To think that one is a gnani, knowledgeable or full of wisdom, is folly. Once one presumes that he is full of wisdom, he wants social recognition. He wants a status. That is the folly. Who is a gnani? The gnani himself does not know he is, and who is to recognize whom? Out of no action, spontaneously, millions of creations are happening every moment, and there is so much of chaos. Will a gnani allow such a thing to happen? The gnani understands that out of ignorance has come knowledge, and in the process everything is happening. But since the basis is ignorance, he does not interfere. He himself does not know he is. The gnani cannot focus his attention because he has no attention. The knower, the Absolute, gives no attention to anything. Witnessing happens. He doesn't witness. He is beyond that attribute, attention. And you, consciousness, cannot give attention to that. It cannot be known. Can he witness his deep sleep state? Oh yes, I witness my deep sleep very nicely. There was this experience. Everything, body and mind, was there. And at the same time, nothing. That is an experience still. The experiencer is different from the experience. Experiences you can describe in thousands of ways, but the experiencer you cannot describe. He knows it is there. It is not a question of knowing. Waking and sleep don't know what was prior to them. Consciousness doesn't know that state when it was not there. The Absolute knows, but it doesn't belong to the known. Unknowingly, the knowing has started spontaneously. Once the knowing disappears, then there is nothing. Knowing gives rise to the elements. When the knowing disappears, you remain. So long as the knowing is there, make use of it and inquire. I am stung by a scorpion. What is the stinging? The stinging is this I amness, because you cannot tolerate that sting of I amness. You are running from place to place. To nullify the poison of that sting, watch the I amness. Observe your knowingness. The effect of that sting is the waking state, sleep state, hunger, thirst, etc. Catch hold of that sting, that knowingness. Is bondage necessary to become free? First, you understand what the bondage is. Track yourself down continuously for 24 hours. Once you realize I cannot be a body or a mind, then naturally you are there. After all this talk, do you have any necessity for the sound of words? For any talk? Is there any necessity for words? For true spirituality, is there really any need for words? The Guru is the greatest power, controlling the outer world as well as the inner. He is more powerful than a king. That's why he is the greatest cheat. He cheats you out of nothing, but you think you lose everything. If that is your experiences, it is quite appropriate. He has appropriated everything, including yourself. That means that you are not a different entity than he. There is no more left of you, only the Guru. Love makes him the greatest cheat. The love is given to each one according to his needs. If there is no need, can there be love? From that perspective, no. But the Absolute has always been associated with that concept. Why do we describe it as love? He does not know himself. He does not know what he is. He doesn't need anything. He does not need to call himself I am. The Absolute state is called gnani by ignorant people only. The Absolute doesn't call himself the Absolute or gnani. Why have those who are ignorant idealized the gnani as love? For the ignorant, it is a matter of convenience. So long as he has not reached that gnani state, he must have some motive force. To get that, he calls gnani full of love, compassion, kindness, etc. These are confirmed or imposed by the ignorant. Is that a correct viewpoint from an ignorant standpoint? Yes, for the ignorant. There is an idol of Vitoba. People go and pray to him. Because of your kindness I survive, etc. The ignorance is talking. Why does the ignorant person keep that stone idle? Because he needs to be alive. He wants to perpetuate his I amness, to continue. That's why he is worshipping that stone, the need to be. Isn't it always perhaps one of the ways that the divine leads the ignorant back to the Absolute? Yes, there are a number of ways or paths for the ignorant. Wouldn't unconditional love be faith in form? From my standpoint, love is the quality to be. Beingness is love. Only when this I amness appears is there love. Can the love prevail if the I amness is not there? You have the urge to be, to continue your beingness. That is the love. All this manifestation is the ocean of that being. You may call it the ocean of Brahma or the ocean of Maya. Beyond Maya, beyond ocean? Where is the question going beyond? There is beingness. Beingness extinguished. It does not go beyond anything. Does it require an airplane, a Boeing, to go somewhere? From where has it come? Where did it go? Prior to coming and going, you are. That I amness is pulsating. I am, I am. The feeling of I amness is there because of the essence of the food body and the vital breath. When the food essence and the vital breath are gone, that pulsation of I amness will not be there. Beingness goes into no beingness. For the sprouting of any seed, water is necessary. Similarly, for the sprouting of this knowledge I am, water and food essence are necessary. In the essence of the food, the quality of I amness is in a dormant state, the Atman, the core self. He himself sees I amness through the juices or essence of the food. The consciousness is common to all, universal, spontaneous, one. Why does it appear in so many different forms? This is its native quality. although beingness is one, it manifests in plenty, many, multitudes. What is the sattva guna? The quintessence of the food essence is that I amness, which is sattva guna. Sattva guna equals beingness. The beingness is activated in the manifest world through rajas and tamas, gunas. The rajas is activity. The tamas is the pride you take in doership or authorship. Sattva guna is only beingness, just to be. These three gunas have sprung out of the essence of food. If the food is not there, that I amness will go. All the qualities will vanish. That flame of I amness, which we see in the present condition, with the help of our intellect, it seems that there is a development, a sort of evolution going on. What does Maharaj think? Which way is it moving? Toward destruction. Whatever might be the evolution, finally, it will be heading toward dissolution. Turning to what you were speaking about earlier, is there something you either do or don't want to protect? I don't know. All this depends on the consciousness, and you don't want to leave the consciousness. Not even the consciousness of consciousness do I want. I thought of bringing cotton to stuff in my ears when Maharaj is speaking of the self. Who says this? I don't know. Why does it have to be somebody? Who says this? Words, just words. What is the use of words if consciousness is not there? Consciousness is there. Why imply that that consciousness does not know? What is the meaning of this? Explain what you have to say. What is the need of attaching any concept to whatever there is? If you feel it should be or it should not be, what is there at the bottom of that? Whatever there is, there is. It is quite evident that you feel that you are, therefore it spouts from you. When you feel that you are, all the trouble starts. If that feeling is not there, no trouble exists. Why should it give trouble? You attach names and concepts to that which is. Would you leave it alone? Who says this? Understanding that appears in consciousness. So who is really troublesome? Is the world troubling you, or the consciousness which appears on you? Nothing troubles me if I shut up. That you are sitting there, that itself is going to be troublesome to you. This is your trouble. You are not in a position to sustain that consciousness, and you cannot bear it. When the body was not there, when the consciousness was not there, what were you? You are not in a position to understand that. Before the body was and unconsciousness appeared, it was whatever it was. Now that you are conscious. Is it because you wanted, or did it just come automatically, spontaneously to you? It appears to be spontaneous. You are conscious now, spontaneously, not because you want to be. That's a fact, isn't it? Yes, I think all this idea of spirituality, of trying to give meaning to that consciousness, is the only trouble, when consciousness wants to extend itself and be all those things. No, that is not troublesome for you. The troublesome thing is the consciousness appearing on you. It is only because of that that you are giving names or not giving names, doing something or not doing something. That is the root of the trouble. If consciousness would just be itself and not try to apply concepts to everything, there would be no trouble. That is all imagination. It is very simple. All the experiences that we call life happen in consciousness. And the meaning of life is just to experience consciousness everywhere. So when the end comes, then that's it. Cannot consciousness just see and face that end? Can you stay in that? But what doesn't allow me to stay in that void is the looking, searching, trying to do this or that. When the consciousness is there, so is the vital force. Thoughts are flowing and a lot of words are coming. That is your mind. Just understand that you are not concerned with the consciousness. It will still be there. It will still continue. But you are not identifying with it saying, I am this or I am that. There should not be any difficulty because the self-evident fact is that you are. Why don't you stop there and out that point? See what that state is. Consciousness is everything that appears. Who is saying this? The feeling is, I am. Who experiences this? Consciousness experiences itself. Yes. Listen to these dialogues for some time more. Whatever is going on, listen for some time more. Thinking, I have understood correctly, that itself is the first mistake. Space is created, and thereby the consciousness, which is really non-personal, has become a person, limited to the body and mind. You feel that the consciousness is limited to the body and mind. But if the consciousness is accepted as non-personal, then there is no trouble. Because the knowledge I am is there, we conduct all activities. In the morning, when you wake up, and you get that first guarantee, that conviction of I am, then because you are not in a position to sustain or tolerate that I amness, you bestir yourself. You get up and move around here and there, and the activity starts. You involve yourself in all the activity because you want to sustain that I amness. Later on, that I amness forgets itself in deep sleep. Only then are you peaceful. There is peace in meditation. Why are you going to meditate? To tranquilize the I amness? With I amness began all misery. You must spontaneously feel the superficiality of I amness. How? That attention, that I amness, is always there in the waking state, but you are not on the alert to watch it. There is no other attention to be followed. Be attentive to that attention, I am. Is there something that remains in the deep sleep state? Whatever is there in the waking state merges in the deep sleep and is in a dormant condition. What is right action? Let the actions happen through you. Don't take yourself to be the doer. There will be actions through you. Don't say that these actions are good and those are bad. It is not your responsibility. The one who thinks he is the doer is a slave to mind inclinations, mind conditions. The gnani witnesses the consciousness acting. He has no involvement in the actions of the consciousness. It seems to be an addiction of the consciousness to worry about things around. Yes, addiction and also entertainment. Suppose I spill water. Immediately I take the towel and wipe it up. But I do not feel that I have done something foolish. It has happened. Just as the towel is soaking up the water without thinking that it is doing so. What a strange love for this I amness. Although it is strange, it gets manifested in concrete forms. We all hang on to concepts about saving the world, doing good. With all the great concepts and ideas great people have had, where are the saved and the saviors today? What do you over there want? I would like everything to be in harmony, non-chaotic. Don't hang on to name and form. Get rid of name and form. Why is it so difficult to understand that simple thing? Because whatever you have understood, you are clinging to, embracing. Get rid of that. Whatever you have understood from this world, you are hanging on to. Give it up. That way, when you understand yourself, you give that up also. How many years were you with your guru? Nearly 6. What was the purpose of his jnana, yoga, whatever it may have been? He teaches that humanity is ready to take a big step in consciousness. An era of enlightenment can be created now. Until now, all the sages, saints, and saviors that the world has had have been working on ideas. Ideas cannot make that change. But if a small portion of humanity raises its consciousness level through the type of meditation that he has provided, the effect will be a higher level of consciousness generally. The whole consciousness is already there. So what are you going to change? How are you going to change? But it is a fact that a change in consciousness can take place in any particular form. Yes, it can change, but it cannot remain permanent. All right, it cannot be made permanent. But is that a reason why that improvement in consciousness should not be made? You can change it for the better, but who is to enjoy that? That is a very important point to clear, a difficult point, you know. We know the world is going to explode into pieces. And some people say, let it destroy itself. It is impermanent. People won't allow that such a change in consciousness can take place now. That which is spontaneous, that which has come without reason, how are you going to stop it? Who has made this whole thing? Find out from where this talk is emanating. What is the source? The source is the little touch of I amness, that pinprick which has no dimension. But just see what a manifestation it has created, how that talk is flowing out. But from where? From that tiny pinprick, that dimensionless touch of I amness. You are angry with me and you feel it. What will happen? You can't kill me. I can increase more and more, a millionfold I will increase. I am speaking from that angle. Can you destroy me? Whatever is dead, you see, is the food of this illusion, the mind. It can absorb any number of deaths. It never dies. Maya will still be there. It is astonishing to us that Maharaj doesn't seem to have love for this I amness. It seems to be somewhere else, not involved in it. You mean to say that I should love that trouble? What will happen if I love that self? I will suffer more pain, or I will get more money. What's the use of that? It will be useful only for other human beings. That's all. Where did Maharaj get the courage to stand completely alone? Who requires courage? It is your nature. Why should I bother about this body? Just last night, 25,000 people died in Gujarat. In just one night. Why should I bother about this body here? I had faith, devotion, so many things. This consciousness, this pinprick, I know its complete nature. Nothing remains, no faith, no devotion, nothing at all. Whatever I used to have in those days, all is gone. The I that met my guru and the I speaking now are two different levels. What is the use of the manifested world then? There is no question of use or no use. That is the nature of consciousness in which the world appears. The world has a use for one who considers himself the body. To your senses, the world appears to be real, but it is only temporary, for a short duration. It is just like a sickness. When you are feeling sick, it's the sickness of that illusion, Maya. We are incarnated in a body, then how can we not be the body? If you consider yourself to be a body, you have more to lose than to gain. If you don't consider yourself the body, then what can you say you are? But if you cut my leg, I scream. I slam this ashtray on the metal container, which produces a loud ping. Look, this also feels pain. It is shouting also. Now it is quiet. You are wrongly identifying yourself with the body. You are not that. It is for you to realize it. There are sometimes glimpses when I don't feel the body, and there is no time. It is timeless. Right. Although most of the time you are identifying with the body, if even for a short while you feel you are not the body, that's enough. Out of ignorance, the knowledge I am comes into being, and into ignorance, where it doesn't know itself, it will dissolve again. After understanding this, you can go, and whatever you do doesn't matter. It's all God's doing. You are not the doer anymore. You never were. When the television set is burned or destroyed, will the people in the movie feel the pain and die? You have no form, no shape. You are like the sky. The vital breath which you take in, will it feel any pain when you die? It will just merge into the air again as it was before. But just to sit here and listen will not do. You have to meditate. During the state of beingness, there are two main states, waking and sleep. What was before these states? Are you born, or is it the waking and sleep states that are born? The waking state is the reminder that I am, and deep sleep is forgetting I amness. What else is there except the birth of these two states? Why don't you talk on this, these states of memory and no memory? If these are not there, what is it you want? For acquisition of which knowledge you have come here. If you agree with what I say, why do you want to come here tomorrow? To get what? I don't want to gain or acquire. I want to lose. I want to get rid of this realm of concepts. If these two states are not there, could there be concepts? Without waking and sleep states, what remains? Whatever that is, without memory and no memory, that remains. The waking and sleep states are impermanent. It is all the greatness of that chemical, that great spirit. Out of that principle, these states and this manifestation, this world, comes. You are not the deep sleep and waking states, and without these you are not. Wherever you may roam, this talk will occur to you again and again. In the womb, this I amness, in the form of ignorance, is there. The child is born, and after a couple of years, that ignorance becomes knowledgeable. I am. Before understanding this I amness, there is Bali Krishna, the child, ignorance. Later on, it understands itself. That is knowledge. This knowledge cancels out the Bala Krishna ignorance. In this Krishna state, Lord Krishna expounded the knowledge, and after that he merged in his original state, the Absolute. So long as that ignorance, knowledge is given, each cancels the other, like this flame. So long as that ignorance is there, the flame of knowledge will be there. When that ignorance is exhausted, finished, that flame of knowledge will also be finished. Who directed you to this place? Anandamayi, Krishnabai, and some friends at Sri Ramana Ashram. What is your native place? We are both from France. Having performed all this physical and mental discipline, what is it you want to be? My own self. Has your guru indicated what your self is? It is something which is already there, and we have to find it out. Who is to search for it? I have to remove all the obstacles which prevent me from really living in the present. Who is going to remove the obstacles? I am. Who are you? There is an element of consciousness which is trying to figure it out. This consciousness? Who told you about consciousness? I have been longing for this path. There is something which drives me, leads one to this path. Why do you get entangled in words? You know that you are. No one else has to tell you that you exist. You know it automatically. Obstacles prevent this consciousness. Let us deal with these obstacles, samskaras, later. Deal with the self, the knowledge I am. This I amness is there first, isn't it? Primary. That I must be there first before you receive this sickness of samskara. How long will you be in Bombay? Just 5 more days. If you are already in the queue and get the number for this spiritual knowledge, then any amount of obstacles will be brushed aside. But if you are not in that line, you will be roaming about. Initially, you want to understand that the knowledge I am is the product of the food essence. When you know that you are, the world also is. as salt is in seawater. Similarly, in the body, in combination with the vital breath, the consciousness appears. It is the consciousness that feels pain or pleasure, not the body or the vital breath. Once you know that you are not the body, all the concepts about pain and pleasure will disappear by themselves. Are you convinced that this is true? Yes. Here you get the knowledge of what you are. Now you have to experience it yourself. To keep quiet and watch for yourself is called meditation. Remaining in what you have heard here is called spiritual practice. The Guru, God, your own knowledge. These three are one. If you know that, you become quiet. Guru means knowledge, and knowledge means I am. I amness is itself the Guru.